New Year's resolutions simply do not work. One thing that I'm sick of hearing year after year are these New Year resolutions. This year I'm going to actually hit the gym. This year I'm going to build a business. Only to find the same people 6 months later, if not less, having quit the gym or never even having made a start. New Year's resolutions simply make life worse for a lot of people. And I know why people do them. I understand why people create New Year's resolutions. I think it's for two reasons. Number one, they genuinely believe that it's going to help them. And number two, it gives them a slight glimpse of success. So for instance, let me give you one example straight away before we even get into this topic. I do already run a business, but let's say that I didn't. Let's say this is my year, 2025, where I'm going to build my first business. And I say that to my friends, I say that to my mum, I say that to my family, right? I'm just going to get nothing but hype, yeah, go on. So what you get then is almost to a degree a sense of that pride from having completed it, despite the fact you've made no efforts to actually starting. Just by putting it out into the universe, you've almost received some hype based off of that. So I think that's why people do it. I think it gives them a little bit of hype themselves, and I think there's also a lot of I think a big thing is it's exceptionally acceptable to make big goals in this year. Everybody does it, think about it. Everyone creates these resolutions. But there's a few reasons I think why they don't work, and going back to why they make life worse. Obviously, the reason why people make them is because they're not happy with their current situation. I didn't like 2023, so I'm going to make 2024 different. I didn't like 2024, but you're already starting to see the path. Nothing ever gets done. I think the reality of how you deal with genuine resolutions is not waiting for a specific date. And I'm not trying to be that guy, but it's one of the things that does slightly annoy me about people's behaviours. Because I don't know about you guys, I don't think it's an exceptional skill. I don't think it's anything special. When there's something that I want or need to change, it's changed. It's changed. If I notice that I'm putting on a bit of weight, let's say, and it's, November the 25th, I'm not waiting until the 1st of January to change it. I'm changing that straight away, right? Hit the gym now. If I see that I'm a bit broke in August, let's make some money now. And people wait until some arbitrary date. It's no wonder why they're not going to achieve anything. I feel like you need to wait until the feeling's genuinely there. And what I mean by that is, when I change things in the middle of the year, it's not because of some false date where something's expected of me. It's because I've realised that there's a problem. If you guys realise on the 1st of July that something's up, change it then, right? Because by the time you get to November, December, obviously January, it's done. You don't have motivation. You had it in July when you acknowledged that there was a problem, and maybe that motivation would have only lasted a month or a week or a day. But you'd have done it under your own merit. Come to these fake dates, these arbitrary dates, and people are doing it for the wrong reason. I think that's a big problem. I think people do it because it's societally accepted. They feel like they have to. They feel like they should. They feel like they want to. But the drive's not there. A real person who's serious about any kind of change does it when they realise that there's a problem. Imagine how stupid that sounds in principle. Like seriously. You've just realised that, you drink too much and it's November. Well, it's obviously going to have continued detrimental effects until January. So why not quit now? It doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. So that's one thing. People don't acknowledge that they need to make life changes straight away. And I feel like that's one of the biggest problems. I feel like another thing when we talk about these resolutions is, not only is it accepted in society to do it, not only does it give you that false sense of pride, it also creates an environment, again, where nothing gets done. Nothing gets done, nothing ever changes. And it just doesn't make sense. It's no secret, and I'm sure I'm going to experience it tomorrow when mine's back open and I go. The gym's going to be packed, it's going to be full. It always is. January is always full. But the hot days in July are quiet. Same guys, some of them who were there in January are still going to be there, but guess what? They're the same guys who were there in December. Or, July, right? You get what I mean? They're not there because of some arbitrary date. This is what holds people back. You change when you need to. You change when you want to. You don't change when other people tell you to. And this is the reality of it. This New Year's resolution concept, I think, is just a load of BS. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense on a number of fronts. I don't understand why it's such a big thing. I think the reason why it is, not only is it because it enables people to feel good, it enables people to carry on bad behaviours. And going back to that point of bad behaviours, nobody has a strategy plan when it comes to New Year. So I'll give you an example. I set my goals out, and I don't say this to be like I'm amazing, it's just what I did, I'm just explaining some context. I set my goals out, my strategy plan, on the 27th of October, 2024. And the reason for that is because that was the date that I realised, okay, I've got this going on good, this going on good, this going on good, but generally I've got X problem in my life, or Y problem in my life. I'm going to spend a year to try and fix this, I'm going to give it my genuine all, and these are my outlined goals. And going back to the concept of a New Year's resolution, even I sat down last night thinking, okay, so we're just about 1, maybe 2 months in to this personal resolution goal that I'm working on. And I'm like, okay, what have we changed? And how do you feel about it in New Year? And I feel like this is actually one of the most powerful tools when it comes to setting any kind of goal, any kind of resolution. Nobody wants to reflect. I don't want to reflect. I do reflect, but I don't want to reflect. And I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why no one wants to reflect. Because when you reflect, when you analyse the steps that you've taken, inevitably you're going to have made some mistakes. You're going to have made some missteps. You likely had some time where you could have been doing stuff where you weren't. The list goes on. A load of reasons as to why you could have been in a better position. Whilst that sounds painful, it's further motivation. So I can sit here now, nearly 2 months in, and say, okay, I did this and this and this super well, but I messed up on this and this and this. So now it's my motivation. I've been honest. People go into 2025 or whatever new year it is, and they don't do this. They just create a new goal. They don't think about how they're going to start it, and they don't think about where they went wrong in not achieving last year. Losing weight is a common one, right? But you probably wanted to lose weight in 2021. Realistically, that's true for most people. Getting money is another big one, but you probably wanted to get money in 2017. Nobody ever reflects, though, on where they went wrong. It's been a year, and I did this, like I say, I analysed this, and I think it's super powerful, even if it can be a bit painful. You look at it over 12 months, you think, right, I've had 365 days. And yeah, I've got this going well, this is going great, and that's okay. But this bit isn't. What the hell did I do over a year? But going back to the point of New Year's resolutions, everyone wants to just live it merry, right? Live it happy. And yeah, I'm all about happiness, but at the same time, let's be realistic. If you're not achieving, blindly following happiness to make yourself feel good may not be the best move, right? I could lie and say that, I don't know, I'm not going to drive my car in 2025. Obviously I will, but if I wanted not to, I'd think about why. I think about why I drove it so much in 2024. I think about, it's not a realistic example, but you kind of get the point still. You outline what you want to do. You think about it cleverly and meticulously. You don't wait for an arbitrary date and a set of goals which you didn't come up with. And then when you do come up with it, whatever day it is, whenever you're ready to change, whether you're watching this on the 1st of January or the 1st of July, you know what you do then? You give yourself the highest level of accountability. And this is where things become, well, not very fun. But let's be honest, anything that you want in life is probably quite hard to get. The unfortunate reality of the world as humans, and people can tell me otherwise, but I do believe this to be the case, we only respect or we only admire to things that are hard to get. Anything that's easy, we generally take for granted. I hate to say it, but you guys know it's probably true. We take it for granted. So anything that you want is probably hard to get. If that's been the case anyway, there are going to be challenges on the journey. So there are going to be unhappy moments. There's going to be stressful moments. And this is important, going back to my point, because no one wants to talk about this. No one wants to say the reason why you need to make New Year's resolutions is because you spent 365 days not doing anything, or not doing enough at the very least. Nobody wants to admit that. But if we could be honest about that, if we could tell the truth, well, I think we'd be a lot more powerful to actually hitting our goals.